Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Welcome to episode number 289 of the Full-Time FBA Show. Today, we're going to talk about what is a good ROI for Amazon sellers. And to talk through this with us today is the best ROI I've ever experienced, my wife, Rebecca. It's just awesome being your husband.
I never know what you're going to say and how you're going to try to turn the title into something to do with me, even if it's not directly related.
Yes. And I'm, trying to be sweet, but it also comes off a little creepy if I say you're good ROI.
I hope that you love me regardless of whether I bring a return on your investment. I don't know.
Yes.
You didn't really invest anything to get me, so.
That's true.
Anyway, let's get into this episode.
We've invested way too much time in this intro, so let's get into today's episode.
All right, welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show, and today we're going to discuss ROI, which stands for Return on Investment, because if you don't know this yet, when you buy something to sell on Amazon, you're hoping for a good ROI, a good return on your investment.
Yeah, and usually the best return on investment is when you invest $0 and you make some nice profits, even though you didn't spend a dime up front. And if you're already a subscriber to our free Full-Time FBA newsletter, then you already know the nice ROI that you're getting simply from sharing your email or phone number with us. Because we're talking about proven Amazon reseller strategies delivered to your inbox on a weekly basis, along with free training videos, walkthroughs, free workshops, free masterclasses, and even money-saving coupon codes, all filled with content that is designed to help you move along the path toward making a full-time income selling on Amazon. I don't know about you, that's some serious ROI.
So if you have 10 seconds right now, you can pause this podcast, head over to fulltimefba.com/subscribe, and you can join the Full-Time FBA newsletter. You even get some free Amazon reseller resources just for signing up.
Okay, so it's obvious that there is some good ROI for joining our newsletter, but let's pivot now and spend the rest of today's episode talking about ROI when it comes to selling inventory on Amazon. Understanding ROI is not as complicated on the surface as understanding Amazon Sales Rank, which we took a deep dive into last week on episode number 288 of the Full-Time FBA Show podcast. But there are still some major tips and strategies we wanted to walk through with you today about ROI.
Right. I remember when I first started learning about selling on Amazon back in 2013, and I just thought that any ROI was good ROI. I mean, even if we're making a penny, that's still a penny more than we had to start off with, right? Wrong.
Yeah, I mean, let's think through just with this example, all of the work involved with selling something on Amazon. Let's go with retail arbitrage, for example. So as a reminder, retail arbitrage is the act of sourcing inventory by going to local retail stores near you to find inventory items that you can get from a local store at a low enough price and sell on Amazon at a high enough price that you're going to make a profit. And you want that profit to be worth the time and energy you expend to find that inventory. So with retail arbitrage, also known as RA, you need to drive to the retail store, spend time in the store scanning potential products to see if they have a big enough ROI. Don't worry, we're going to come back to that soon. And then there's the time to check out at the store, the time it takes to drive home, then some inventory items you might need to prep them for Amazon, meaning removing price stickers or polybagging or bubble wrapping. And then if you're doing FBA, which is the best way to go, you're going to create a shipment to send all your inventory to the Amazon warehouses and to pack up those boxes, put labels on them, drop those off at the UPS location. I mean, there's other minor tasks that come up along the process. It's all easy stuff to do, but it all takes time.
So let's say that all of those tasks that Stephen just walked us through takes you 2 hours of time. How would you like to make only a penny for that 2-hour time block? Technically, you made a profit, but no one wants to trade 2 hours of work for a penny.
Right. And I mean, you're investing money into inventory that we're wanting to get a plus ROI on, but we're also investing time. And so just because you make an ROI doesn't mean it's a good ROI.
Okay, so then what is a good ROI? Some newer sellers, they like to at first aim for the goal of at least 100% ROI, which is another way of saying doubling your money or doubling your investment. Meaning that let's just do an example. If you spend $25 on an inventory item, when it sells, you make back your original $25 and an additional $25 in profit, then you've made an ROI of 100%.
100% ROI is awesome, but it's not a realistic expectation in most cases. Sure, it happens from time to time, and sometimes even more, but if you're only looking for an ROI of 100% or better, then you're never going to find enough inventory to really start snowballing your profits.
Right. So 100% ROI or doubling your money is great, but it's not a low enough ROI to build up a successful growing Amazon business. But a 1% ROI is obviously too low. So where is the happy middle? Would it be 50% right in the middle?
Well, I think that's 50% ROI is a good place to start for newer Amazon sellers. You see, you still need enough ROI to help cover things like price adjustments or monthly storage fees. And we teach our coaching clients to only send inventory to Amazon that they're confident will sell in 30 to 60 days. Because after 60 days, those monthly storage fees and other associated storage fees are only eating away your ROI. And the more storage fees, the more of your eventual profits ends up going to Amazon's pocket instead of your own.
We also teach our coaching students both pricing and repricing strategies that help you squeeze out every possible penny more of profits while still selling your inventory somewhat quickly. But those storage fees are basically ROI eaters. So if you start sourcing for inventory to sell on Amazon and you start with a minimum requirement of 50% ROI, that helps you have some wiggle room for some storage fees and possibly even repricing to a lower price while still remaining profitable.
Yeah, 50% is a good starting point. And when we say 50% ROI, we don't mean that we're not buying and selling inventory that has 100% ROI or better, but that the 50% ROI is our recommended minimum for beginner sellers on Amazon.
So around a minimum of 50% ROI is suggested for beginners. But Stephen, when do newer sellers know that they're ready to start lowering their ROI minimum?
Well, the reason why, like we said before, we have these higher ROI minimums is, like we said, for wiggle room when it comes to repricing and lowering our prices or to cover storage fees on the inventory that takes months and months to finally sell, and any other kind of fee that might be coming up before the item sells. So as you start getting more comfortable selling on Amazon, as you get more experience, the less wiggle room you're going to need to cover these storage fees or price drops. Once you get more comfortable sourcing, you're going to be able to start lowering your ROI minimums.
You might be hearing this episode and thinking to yourself, am I supposed to do all of this math every time I look at an item to sell on Amazon? And the answer is no, of course not. Not at all. I would not be in this business if I had to do that math all the time. Most reseller sourcing apps or tools have a quick ROI calculator to help you know what the ROI is that you'll make after all of the initial Amazon fees are taken out. For retail arbitrage, we use the sourcing tool called Scoutify, and you can, with just a few clicks, enter in your buy cost, and the app will calculate the ROI for you. Scoutify is bundled together with multiple other reseller tools under the Seller 365 subscription, and it's the app that we use when doing RA. You can check it out yourself by going to fulltimefba.com/seller365.
Yeah, we love Scoutify with retail arbitrage, but when it comes to online arbitrage or wholesale sourcing, we like to use the Chrome extension called RevSeller. And what's really cool about RevSeller is that it actually gives you the target buy cost at each of the different ROI minimums. For example, if you want a minimum ROI of 50%, then RevSeller can tell you per actual item on Amazon what you would need to buy the item at whichever amount so you can get a ROI of at least 50%. You can check out RevSeller by going to fulltimefba.com/RevSeller. You can even use the coupon code FULLTIME to save $20.
So if you're like me and you don't want to do math all day, then use those tools, Scoutify and RevSeller. Let them do all the math for you. And don't worry, we'll have all the links and coupon codes listed for you over on this episode's show notes page at fulltimefba.com/289.
So like we mentioned earlier, a good starting point when it comes to minimum ROI is around 50% for beginners. And then as you get more confident in your sourcing and pricing skills, to start lowering those ROI minimums. And to give you perspective, I've been selling on Amazon since 2011, and my ROI minimum is usually around 25%.
And I've been selling on Amazon since 2013, and my ROI minimum on a good day is around 30% ROI. But Stephen and I are different. I am more risk averse than he is, so my ROI minimum is, like I said, 30% on a good day. But Stephen has a higher comfort level when it comes to risk, and so he's more comfortable with an ROI minimum of 25%. And I just want to clarify again, those are minimums. Mm-hmm. We're not saying that everything we sell is at 25 or 30% ROI. That's just the very lowest I will go on a fast-selling item.
Yeah, absolutely. And a few final ROI tips as we start to close up this episode. Like we mentioned multiple times, a good ROI to start off with is at least 50% ROI. But let's say you're selling items on Amazon like toys and home and kitchen items and other items that you have got the confidence in that you're going to sell that category of items quickly. And that confidence has led you to lower your ROI minimums to maybe around 40% or 35%. That's awesome. But now you're wanting to branch out to a new category, like grocery, for example. I mean, I would not suggest starting off your new category, whatever that category happens to be, with the same lower ROI that you're aiming for on the categories that you're more confident in. Anytime you branch out to a new category, I'd start again at the 50% ROI minimum and not go down there until you start to gain more confidence and more experience. Because the reason is every Amazon category has what I like to call its own personalities when it comes to selling on Amazon. And you need to get used to all the little quirks of each category. And once you start to feel confident in your sourcing decisions, then you can start lowering your ROI minimums.
So hopefully now you have a better idea of what a good ROI is when it comes to selling items on Amazon. And if you're wanting even more help, we have a free 5-day Amazon Profit Roadmap workshop that will be coming up starting May 12th. All you need to do to secure your spot is go to fulltimefba.com/roadmap. And for 5 days, we'll help outline for you the exact path you need to take to make a full-time income selling on Amazon. Even if you can't make the workshop live, you can still get access to the replays by going to fulltimefba.com/roadmap. Make sure you're signed up today, and we'll see you in our next workshop. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As always, the show notes and any links that were mentioned in this episode can be found at fulltimefba.com/289 because we're on episode number 289.
And next week on the Full-Time FBA Show podcast, we're going to be talking about the 80-20 rule and how it applies to your Amazon business and how it can help you grow your Amazon business. We're going to talk about that next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.